Have you ever felt as though your saxophone playing is awful? Probably because of the way it sounds. I mean, the squeaky sounds, the short breath, the wrong fingerings, even the poor air control. Trust me, I know how frustrating that can be. But don't worry, because I'm about to share with you 5 bad habits you need to get rid of if you really want to sound like a pro. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, I'll need you to sit right back, relax, and let me take you through this journey. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy CJ Sax, and today we'll be discussing about 5 things you need to get rid of in order to sound like a professional on the saxophone. So number 1 on the list is poor air breathing. Poor air breathing from the chest rather than breathing from the diaphragm. This is one common mistake most saxophonists make. They tend to breathe with the chest region. You know what this does is that it doesn't give you the amount of air you need. It doesn't give your lungs the amount of air it needs to be able to sustain that note, compared to when you're breathing from the stomach region, diaphragm. You're already expanding the lungs and then making it feel more air. You can take this scenario. Let's say, imagine you're just having a good time, having one of those quiet moments, and you're just scrolling through your phone, and then you notice you're always breathing. Of course, you're always breathing, consciously, unconsciously, you're always breathing. But that period of time where you're breathing, since it's not something that is making you stressed or whatever, you're just having a cool time, you're having a kind of slow breathing. So that period of time, your chest is you're engaging your chest more, so you're taking in very little amount of air. But then compared to when you have a flight response, let's say you've been under an attack, you're scared, or you've been running for a while and then you don't decide to take a break, then you find yourself panting and then gasping for air. That is the kind of breathing technique we need on the saxophone. We need you to fill your lungs with the air it needs to be able to push out air or sustain a note. One very good practice that helps is the long tone practice together with the subtone. The long tone practice helps you to sustain your notes, and the subtone practice now helps you to be able to weigh the amount of air you need to push out to the horn. So I advise you, practice your long tones, practice your short tones. Second bad habit I will need you to take note of is tight embouchure. Tight embouchure. Do not bite too hard. Keep a very relaxed muzzle. Keep a very relaxed embouchure. Let everything be relaxed from your cheeks down to your jaw. Make it relaxed. Do not bite too hard on the mouthpiece or bite too hard on the reed, because it affects your sound. It makes it difficult for you to produce air when you're biting too hard on the mouthpiece or the reed. Take for instance when you're doing your tonguing. Tonguing has to do with using either a part of the tongue to mute the reed. And when you do that, you're automatically stopping airflow. So what most beginners saxophonists do is that they unconsciously use part of their tongue to mute the reed, and then they find it difficult to now produce air. So try as much as possible to pay attention to all these details. Be sure that your tongue is not touching the reed at all, so the airflow can be very, very smooth. Third on the list now is do not overblow, do not underblow. What do I mean by this? Do not be sure you're not putting in much amount of air, so you do not get this tone cracks or squeaky sound. Also be sure the amount of air you're putting in is not too little, so it's not hard for people to hear you. That's why it's good you practice the subtone so you can be able to balance it. Because there are cases where you will need to play very softly. That's when the subtone comes in. But playing softly doesn't mean you're not pushing in air. You're pushing in air, but you're controlling the amount of air you're pushing in. It's not as much as when you're playing loudly. So do not overblow, do not underblow. One bad habit I'll be pointing out now to you is avoid raising your fingers. Try to keep your fingers closely together. You feel me? This helps in your speed, because music and especially saxophone work, we cannot see what our fingers are pressing. That's the magic about all this. You cannot see. So every work is in your mind. So your mind is already thinking of what notes to play next. And you're already stressing it on calculating the fingers. The guy up here is seeing you moving, seeing you consciously move and move it all around. So he's confused up there. So do yourself a favor and do him a favor. Try to keep your fingers closed. Let me give you another scenario. Let's say a pianist. Can you compare a pianist who plays a scale with just one finger, lifting them up, to a pianist who plays a scale with the 4 fingers, but they are closely together, and he's just lifting them, lifting them, lifting them? you tend to see that the one who keeps the fingers closely together will be faster than the one who is just taking off, tapping, taking off, tapping, taking off. That is the idea behind that. And also it gives you this sense of style. Makes people wonder, is this guy really playing? I mean, nothing is moving, but aside to the style, it gives you this speed. It helps you play stuff faster. That's the secret about it. The fifth on the list is practice your exercises. Develop a strong affinity for exercises. Exercises are for your good. Generally, exercises helps in almost everything. Practicing exercises helps you discover your tone on the horn. Practicing exercises also helps in your speed and dexterity. So everything actually revolves around practicing. So guys, if you found value from watching this video, do well to subscribe to the channel, like, share, comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and stick around by pressing by turning on the notification bell so you get notified when I post or drop useful and helpful educational content just as this. So till next time I come your way, I remain CJ Sax. Peace and love.